What's up, you guys? Welcome back again to your HeroClix headquarters. Today we're going to be counting down the top 5 black bolts in HeroClix. So without further ado, let's get to the list. Alright, you guys, coming in at number 5 for me for Black Bolt is actually the old school Black Bolt from Sinister. Now, part of the reason he's actually on the list is because there's not a lot of Black Bolts, and of the ones there are, a lot of them don't really count for my list because they're not normal versions of the character. They're Skrull or some other universe or something. So we gotta take it all the way back to the first ever Sinister unique Black Bolt. Now, starting out, this guy's not too bad. His attack and defense do go down very fast. 166 points is a lot, but I mean, 10 movement running shot with flight for 10 range, 10 attack pulse wave, 17 defend, and 4 damage with perplex. Very interesting dial. When you could actually full damage pulse wave, you know, he could perplex his attack to an 11 and just full damage pulse wave somebody for 4 would be pretty good. But, you know, perplexing his attack to 11 or his range up, he could literally just pulse wave an entire team for 1, which could be pretty good. Now, obviously, he's not great because as soon as he takes a hit, he's jumping to like a 9, 8, even 7 attack and like a 15 defense. I mean, at least he picks up Penetrating Blast and Outwit. And on his last click, he does go back up to 11 attack, 5 damage pulse wave with running shot. So, you know, not amazing by today's standards, but he was definitely solid for his time. Potential legacy card candidate. I feel like they always give legacy cards to like the first character, the first like made version of a character, right? And since I don't have this one, of course, I'm showing the dial on screen, but I don't really have a lot of Black Bolts, so just a fair warning for the rest of the video. But anyway, for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 5. All right, coming in at number 4, we have the super rare from Incredible Hulk. I did actually think about going out of my way to buy this one. He's kind of cool, but besides the point, now this guy's coming in at 193 points, so he's a huge point cost, but he does have 9 range triple target, flight, 12 attack, 18 impervious, 4 damage. He is also a sharpshooter, which meant he could make range attacks while adjacent and ignore opposing characters for line of fire, which was pretty cool. And he started with a special attack power that he could use Pulse Wave, and he could use it normally, or you could give him a double power action to use it as a free action, and then damage dealt becomes his printed damage value instead of 1. So that's actually still nuts. If only he had running shot or something, I don't know, but 12 attack, 4 damage pulse wave, 9 range would be a 5 range for the pulse wave. Pretty nuts, pretty huge damage pulse wave there if you manage to place him right and get it off. Definitely needs some TK or something to get him in position for that, but he could do some damage. And then that 9 range triple target for the Penetrating Blast and Energy Explosion that he gets later, definitely still very good. And 5 damage pulse wave on his last couple of clicks. But then he also had a special damage power to start with that gave him leadership, and he can use it normally, or if he's adjacent to a friendly character named Medusa and succeeds at his leadership role, he may instead remove an action token from each character that shares a keyword with him and add that many actions to your action total this turn, which is pretty nuts. Now, he's almost 200 points, so I can't imagine you have that many characters to remove actions from, and I can't imagine that you'd need that many more actions, but I mean, hey, if you're playing like a 1,000-point game or something, that could definitely put in work for you. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 4. All right, coming in at number 3 for me is the Fast Forces Black Bolt from Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, 150 points or 100 points for this guy. For 150, he's starting out with Running Shot, 11 attack, Precision Strike, 17 invuln, and 4 damage. For 100, he's got Hypersonic and Energy Shield, which is a nice little change up from the usual that we've seen from him so far. Only 7 range double target this time, so no crazy 9-10 range on this one, but he does also have a trait that lets him use the carry ability to carry characters with the Inhumans keyword, and he doesn't modify his speed value from that. Now, you no longer modify your speed value anyway, and he could already fly, so kind of a useless trait in my opinion. but oh well. He also has special damage power later on that he can use Battle Fury and Close Combat Expert, which on his last click, if he just so happens to land on his last click, he'd have a sidestep with 10 attack, 6 damage from the Close Combat Expert, which is pretty nuts. Also with the Battle Fury to ignore shape change if they happen to have any. So yeah, I do like that you can play him at multiple point values. It's nice. His stats are a little better this time, and it is kind of interesting to see him have some close combat variation there at the end too. So for those reasons, he's coming in at number 3. All right, and finally one that I do have here. So coming in at number 2, we've got the other Black Bolt from Guardians of the Galaxy. So take a look up close at the sculpt there. Same one from the Fast Forces figure. We just took a look at it, number 3. Now this guy here has a trait where he can use Perplex, but can't modify damage values. So he has Perplex, and he can only target a character with the Inhumans keyword within 3 squares. But, you know, that can mean himself if you want it to. So then he has also this special attack power that he gets later, that he can use Pulse Wave, and improved targeting destroys blocking. And when he uses Pulse Wave, the attack generates knockback, and each hit character is knocked back 3 squares. So, you know, can Pulse Wave through a wall, knock some people back. And he starts with just regular running shot Pulse Wave, but this one's going back up to at 9 range double target, 17 invuln and 3 damage with some leadership. Now, I don't know, I just like that 9 range double target, and that traded Perplex can definitely come in handy. He goes down to some toughness there. And then late dials when he gets that super Pulse Wave that can go through blocking, which is very powerful, and then he KOs. So yeah, I just think that traded Perplex really helps himself out, if more than anything, just to keep his attack up or his defense up especially. And yeah, you know, just all around solid 150 points. Black Bolts are always very expensive, so I just like this one a little bit more. I actually used this one a few times, so I do have a little experience with him. So for those reasons, he's coming in at number 2. So of course, as always, before we get to our number 1 pick, we have a few honorable mentions to go through. And I wanted to use the honorable mentions here to talk about all the other Black Bolts. So all the Skrulls Black Bolts and alternate universe Black Bolts and stuff that technically couldn't make it on my list. But that's the only other Black Bolts there are, so I wanted to at least give them a shout out here. So starting us off, we have Black Bolt from the Incredible Hulk set. Now this was an LE from the Incredible Hulk set, the Skrulls Black Bolt. He also had, of course, the old running shot, Pulse Wave, Invuln, the leadership combo, 10 attack, 4 damage, 7 range double target. Not too shabby. In mid-dial, he got shape change and energy explosion. Shape change at least comboed with his Skrulls team ability, and he still had toughness to rely on. End dial, he drops to 8 attack, penetrating blast, so meh. 133 points wasn't too bad though. I mean, pretty low cost considering all the other Black Bolts we've looked at. So he was, you know, pretty solid for his time. At least he had a running shot. The main set one not having any type of running shot was really the main reason he was so low on my list. But besides him, the only other ones we have are this Black Bolt here, who's also a Skrulls Black Bolt. And we'll take a look at his card. So he's got a trait that when Black Bolt occupies clear terrain, opposing characters that didn't begin their turn within 6 squares of Black Bolt can't draw a line of fire to him. So that's actually a really cool trait. Makes him kind of hard to target. Then he has free choose one energy explosion with triple target or penetrating blast. Gives you a little light pick of power there, which is nice. Skrulls team ability, only 75 points. This is like the cheapest Black Bolt ever, and he's a Skrull, so it's kind of annoying. But running shot with flight, 11 attack, with that pick of power special, 18 toughness, 3 damage with shape change. With the team ability, gives him a 4 through 6 shape change. Combo that with the cool trait that he has, and he's actually pretty annoying to get to. And yeah, triple target energy explosion or penetrating blast down the whole dial gives you some good options there. Then he becomes quite a good close attacker there with the close combat expert. So he's actually not too shabby at all. And now, moving on next, last but certainly not least here, is the Earth X Black Bolt. Now, I definitely want to give this guy a huge shout out, because if this guy wasn't Earth X, he would be my number 1 Black Bolt, hands down. So I do want to just make that clear, that because of my own personal rule that I don't want to mix in alternate versions of the character to my top 5 list, is the only thing preventing him from actually being number 1. So we'll take a look at what he can do. When a friendly character targets Black Bolt with Perplex after resolutions, roll a d6. If the result is less than Black Bolt's click number, modify the chosen value an additional +1. So yeah, if a friendly character perplexes him up, there's a potential to get a +2 perplex there, which is really great. Then he has this other trait that when he has no action tokens, lines of fire drawn to him are blocked. So they just can't see him as long as he doesn't have any action tokens. If he gets carried around or TK'd or something, they cannot see him until he decides to act. And then he also has Pulse Wave, and when Black Bolt uses it, he can use Improved Targeting Blocking, and you may instead choose a number from 1 through 5 to be the range value for Pulse Wave. You don't have it and can't modify it. And after resolutions, destroy all blocking terrain within that use of Pulse Wave's range. So good there. Pulse Wave as big or as little as you want it. This was so good when Pulse Wave could do full damage. Nowadays, I would probably just pick like 5 every single time, just get the max range on it. Sadly, he doesn't get that till his last click though, but for 150 or 100 points, he's got 8 movement hypersonic with an 8 range, flight, 11 attack, precision strike, 18 invincible, 5 damage with leadership. And again, remember, he can't be targeted until he's got an action token. So super duper good there. And if he's on a lower click number, you know, you can get the +2 perplex. So playing him at 100 points on click number 4, that gives you like 50-50 odds of somebody like perplexing up his attack and potentially getting a +2 or a defense or whatever. And he actually starts with perplex too. So since he is a friendly character targeting himself with perplex, he could actually just target himself with perplex to potentially get a +2. So that's why I really love the 100-point line as well. I do wish it had like another click of life or something though, or a stop click, because it's just not quite enough there for me for 100 points. But I mean, yeah, you could see that last couple clicks there, he goes up to a 4 or 5 damage with that Pulse Wave special. So when you could do full damage, it was really devastating. Playing him in like a Bizarro game where you start on last click would be good. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to the number 1 Black Bolt. All right, so coming in at number 1 for me, King of the Inhumans, is the Black Bolt from Black Panther and the Illuminati, Avengers Black Panther and the Illuminati. This guy is actually really great. So I do like this guy's sculpt. You know, he's kind of yelling. You can see the sound waves coming out of him, pretty cool. It is actually pretty close for me personally, you know, between this one and the Earth X one. They're both like up there with my top 2. So anyway, taking a look at what he can do. He can start the game with the Reality Gem or Space Gem equipped for an additional 5 points, which is great. He's got Improved Targeting Hindering and can make range attacks while adjacent to opposing characters. Very useful. On his special movement power, he's got Sidestep. When he uses it with the Space Gem equipped, after resolutions, you may move all characters within range 1 square. So that's super duper good. If you choose to equip him with the Space Gem, you can move all your friendly characters 1 square. You can even mess with your opponent's positioning, moving all their characters 1 square if they're within range as well. So a really cool sidestep. And if you don't have it, it's just a regular sidestep, which is still useful. And then on his special attack power, he has Penetrating Psychic Blast. When he uses it with the Reality Gem equipped, you may instead target any number of opposing characters within range and line of fire. If you do, instead of normal damage, each hit target is dealt his printed damage value. Super powerful there as well. So he's got Running Shot, 12 attack, 18 impervious, 3 damage with leadership. For 145 or 95 points. I don't know why they're all 150 or 100 points. That just seems to be what they like to do with Black Bolt. Now, I do wish he had more than a 6 range. If this dude had like an 8 or 9 range or something like almost all the other ones do, it would be insane for that Penetrating Blast everybody for his printed damage value. And then on his 100-point line, he gets that Sidestep, Pulse Wave, Perplex, So good options. Running shot, 12 attack, 5 damage, pulse wave again on the last click. They seem to like to do that also. Give him like a 12 attack, 5 damage pulse wave, but only on his last click. And we'll just take a quick look also at what the gems do. So if you choose Space Gem, he gets +1 speed, phase teleport, passenger 2, and then if he hits, if the attack roll was 10 or higher after resolutions, you may place a hit character up to 8 squares from their current square. And if you choose the reality gem, this is the gem he actually comes with in the booster. This character gains an extra target, perplex, and telekinesis. When this character hits, if the attack roll was a 10 or higher after resolutions, you can generate a standard heavy object and then use telekinesis at no cost. This got errated, I believe, where you could use telekinesis to make an object attack, or no, you get the object and you can then make an object attack with it. I don't know. They had to errata that to make it work the right way once they changed telekinesis. I should have looked that up. I kind of forgot to. But it's a little bit different now, but it still works basically the same way. So, I mean, both of those are good options. So just taking a quick look back at him again. So if you were to choose the Space Gem, you know, he'd get a +1 to movement. So he'd have like running shot 6 +1 for 7. He could carry a couple people with him, maybe a couple enhancement. That wouldn't really help because it's printed damage value for a special, but he could still penetrating blast somebody for 4 or 5 or something. Yeah, and I do like that he can ignore hindering for that too. Or you get the sidestep pulse wave with perplex. So again, you know, if you start with the reality gem, he's already got perplex here. You probably want to start with the space gem if you're playing low dial to get the super sidestep thing, since he's already going to have perplex. And if you're playing top dial, you probably want to start with reality gem for the perplex and TK and everything, and the additional target too. But again, you don't really need the target with that, so it's kind of like, you know, there's not really a bad option and there's not really a better option. They're just both decent options. So I do like him a lot. I mean, he's pretty good for the points, and he's a lot of fun. I played him a few times. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 1. All right, you guys, so that does it for another top 5 list. As always, if you enjoyed it, make sure you smash that like button. It does help me out a lot. Let me know in the comments who your favorite Black Bolt is and who you'd like to see on a future top 5 list. And of course, if you haven't already, don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for the Patreon so you can see your name here in the credits, as well as some other cool stuff, so check that out. But that's going to do it for this one, so thanks again so much for watching, and until next time, this has been HeroClix Headquarters, signing off.